BXB. It's in the game.
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another one of my quick video reviews, and this time I am looking at The Long Reach by Painted Black Games. Now this is a small indie developer based out of the Ukraine, and The Long Reach in many ways is a classical point and click adventure game, but with a really interesting setting that I don't really want to get into too much because it would kind of spoil the best bit of this game. Now there are some bits of this game that I really enjoyed. I really like the writing in The Long Reach. I think it's incredibly, not necessarily realistic, but humanistic. It feels genuine. It feels like the characters come from a place that you can relate to. And that's very important when you're dealing with a setting that becomes increasingly surreal and strange and horrific as the game progresses. So the two biggest strengths of The Long Reach, without a doubt, are its setting and its dialogue. And I also really enjoyed the music, and I really actually quite liked this particular pixel art style. Pixel art is getting a bit overused, but you can understand why indie developers like it, because it's obviously far less intensive to develop a game using this art style than, say, a 3D art style or a photorealistic art style. However, I mentioned at the beginning of this review that this is a point-and-click adventure game with all the trappings that entails, and it's not really particularly a modern-feeling point-and-click adventure game. It has those elements of trial and error that I don't find particularly interesting in these sort of puzzle situations. To give you an example, there was an elevator that I needed to use. It had a shorted out electrical box, and I thought to myself, how do I get into this elevator? There was a creature that I had to lure, so I went and got some food for the creature to eat. The creature then dropped a rubber toy, and I thought, rubber! You know, that's going to not be conductive of electricity. I can use that to get into the elevator. So I go to use the rubber chew toy on the elevator controls, only to be told that that isn't something I could do. So at this point, I'm completely stumped. I thought I knew the solution to this puzzle. I really didn't see where else to go. So what did I start doing? Wandering around the environment, trying to use all the things in my inventory with everything I could interact with in the environment. And finally, I used the rubber chew toy on a broken vending machine, which is glass, which was then cut the toy into sort of a more key kind of dagger shape, which I could then use on the elevator. Now that level of what can only be described as sort of obfuscated bullshit isn't really enjoyable to me. Now, more modern adventure games, things like Thimbleweed Park come to mind, where the puzzles feel much more contextual, that the information is there and given to you within the environment, within your interactions with characters, to tell you how to solve the puzzles. And other adventure games use like layered tip systems, which will get increasingly easy. Now there's none of that in The Long Reach, and it's a shame because I like the story, I like the world, and I think a lot of people are going to be put off by this particularly difficult type of gameplay, and frankly they'll just go on YouTube, watch the 90-minute long walkthrough of a game where everybody knows all the solutions and get all the story and the narrative from that. I do not recommend doing that. I like supporting indie developers, but when they make a game that isn't fun to play, even if it has an interesting story, well-written characters and good music, then it becomes very difficult to recommend. And that's where I'm at with The Long Reach, and I really don't have anything more to say about the game other than that. It's a shame that it's just not more fun to play, and at the end of the day, if a game isn't fun to play, well, what can you give it other than 2 stars?
BXB. It's in the game.